You put your key in the lock, and before the door is even halfway open, you hear it. The scrambling, the frantic click of nails on hardwood, like something is short-circuiting on the other side. You push through, and there they are, all 60 pounds of them, launching directly at your sternum, tail going so fast it seems to move their whole back half, letting out little broken vocalizations that are not quite barks, not quite whines, but something that sounds almost embarrassingly close to relief. You have been gone for 4 hours. You went to the grocery store. Most people see this and think, my dog is just so happy to see me. And honestly, that is sweet. That is the obvious read. But behavioral neuroscience tells a completely different story. What your dog is doing the moment that door opens is one of the most complex, evolutionarily ancient expressions of attachment that exists anywhere in the animal kingdom. And most owners have absolutely no idea. Let's start with the happiness theory, because it sounds completely reasonable. Your dog is happy. You make them happy. You come home. They express happiness. Simple as that. An emotional equation with a tidy answer. But here's the problem. If pure happiness were the driver, we would expect to see it distributed fairly evenly. Your dog should be equally ecstatic when the mail carrier arrives. A new person, new smells, novel stimulation. They should lose their mind when a stranger offers them a treat. They should greet your neighbor's kid with the same full-body chaos they reserve for you. But they do not. The neighbor's kid gets a sniff and maybe a tail wag. You get the complete dissolution of composure. And here is what really breaks the happiness theory. Your dog greets you like this even after what should be a boring departure. You did not go on a trip. You took out the trash. You sat in the driveway on a phone call. 3 minutes. And they act as though you have returned from a sea voyage. So why do they keep choosing you for this? The answer is not happiness. Or rather, happiness is the surface. Underneath it is something much older and much more urgent. The greeting is not just celebration. It is the resolution of something that was left open the moment you walked out the door. In 2015, researchers at the University of Veterinary Medicine in Vienna, led by behavioral scientist Dr. Lisa Horn, conducted a study that has since reshaped how we understand the dog-human relationship. They placed dogs in a scenario deliberately designed to mirror the classic strange situation test, the landmark procedure originally developed by psychologist Mary Ainsworth in the 1970s to study attachment between human infants and their mothers. In the original infant studies, babies were briefly separated from their caregivers, then reunited, and their responses were categorized. The findings were foundational. Securely attached infants use their caregiver as a safe base, a stable emotional reference point from which they feel confident exploring the world. Horn's team applied this exact framework to dogs. They found that 61% of domestic dogs displayed what is clinically classified as secure attachment to their primary human owner, responding to separation with visible distress, and to reunion with a distinctive relief response that went far beyond simple excitement. Here is what makes this extraordinary. These were not responses to strangers. The same dogs placed in an identical room with an unfamiliar person showed measurably lower distress on departure and measurably lower relief on reunion. The owner was not a source of happiness. The owner was functioning as something else entirely. When your dog launches at you the moment that door opens, they are performing the single most fundamental behavior in all of attachment psychology. They are resolving an open circuit. They are confirming that their safe base has returned. They are not being dramatic. They are telling you that you are the thing that makes the world feel stable. But here is where it gets really interesting. Because this is not just psychology. It is chemistry. In 2015, the same year as Horn's study, a research team at Azabu University in Japan, led by Dr. Takefumi Kikusui, published a landmark paper in the journal Science. They were measuring oxytocin, sometimes called the bonding hormone, though that undersells it considerably. Oxytocin is the neurochemical architecture of trust. It is released during childbirth, during nursing, during the moment you hold someone you love and feel your shoulders drop. Kikusui's team had dogs and their owners interact naturally for 30 minutes, including eye contact, touch, and play. Then they measured oxytocin levels in both. And what they found was extraordinary. Both the dogs and their owners showed significant oxytocin increases after the session. But here is the detail that matters. When dogs initiated eye contact with their owners specifically, when the dog looked at the human on purpose, owners' oxytocin levels spiked by 300% compared to baseline. And dogs who received that responsive gaze back showed even higher increases themselves. It is a feedback loop. Your dog looks at you, your chemistry changes, you respond, their chemistry changes. Back and forth. Building. Now compare this to wolves, the direct ancestors of domestic dogs. When researchers ran the same protocol with wolves raised by humans, hands socialized from birth, the oxytocin loop did not activate. The prolonged gaze, the initiating of eye contact, the neurochemical cascade, none of it. Wolves avoided sustained direct eye contact almost entirely. This response evolved specifically between domestic dogs and humans over at least 15,000 years of shared history. It does not exist anywhere else in the animal kingdom quite like this. So now think about what happens at that front door. The greeting, the full body spiral, the gaze that locks onto your face. That is not just excitement. That is the ignition of a neurochemical loop that your dog's entire biology has been shaped to initiate. The moment they see your face, the cascade begins. And it begins in both of you. When did this start? The answer is basically from the beginning of civilization at least, and possibly before it. Roughly 15,000 to 40,000 years ago, before the first written word, before the first planted field, wolves began approaching human campsites. Not the aggressive ones. Those were driven off or killed. The ones who lingered were the calmer, more curious individuals. The ones who could tolerate proximity to people without triggering their own flight response. Humans, in turn, kept the ones that were useful, gentle, responsive. And over thousands of generations, something genuinely unprecedented happened. A wild predator became the only animal to ever be domesticated from the inside out by changing the fundamental wiring of their social cognition. We have archaeological evidence of this relationship going back to a burial site discovered in Ain Malaha, Israel, dating to approximately 12,000 years ago. An elderly human was found interred with a small dog or wolf puppy, the human's hand resting on the animal's body. These were not livestock. This was not a working relationship preserved for utility. This was a burial arranged with care, with intimacy. Your dog does not just like you. They are, at the level of DNA, oriented toward you. The greeting at the door is not a behavior. It is an expression of genetic architecture built over 15,000 years of selection pressure. The most recent layer of this research is perhaps the most profound. A 2023 study published in Scientific Reports, led by researchers at the University of Vienna, examined heart rate variability, or HRV, in bonded dog owner pairs during periods of calm co-presence. HRV is one of the most sensitive markers of nervous system regulation we have. When it synchronizes between two individuals, it indicates a level of physiological attunement that typically only occurs between very closely bonded pairs. And what they found was this: bonded dogs and their owners showed correlated HRV patterns during shared time together. Their nervous systems were moving in sync. When the same protocol was run with dogs and unfamiliar humans, strangers who interacted with them calmly and kindly. The synchronization did not occur. This only happens within bonded pairs. Think about that in context of the greeting. Every time you return, every time the oxytocin loop fires and the eyes lock and the reunion completes, you are reinforcing a neurological bond that is literally measurable in your shared biology. The greeting is not just emotional. It is a neurological event happening in both of you simultaneously. There is one last thing I need to tell you, and it might be the most important part of this story. If your dog has been greeting you like this, with that full body, door rattling, completely undignified enthusiasm, for months or years, and one day it changes, do not brush it off. A greeting that becomes quieter. A dog who no longer rushes the door, who stays in their bed when they used to slide across the kitchen floor to reach you. Dogs are creatures of deeply established habit. When a behavioral pattern this embedded disappears or diminishes, there is always a reason. Sometimes it is environmental, a new pet in the home, a change in schedule, a shift in the household dynamic that has altered their sense of security. Sometimes it is relational, something in your own affect or routine has changed, and they are mirroring it. But sometimes, and this is the one that matters most, it is physical. Pain in the joints can suppress the greeting before a limp appears. Cognitive decline in older dogs, canine cognitive dysfunction, which affects an estimated 28% of dogs between 11 and 12 years old, and over 68% of dogs 15 and older, can quietly erode the behaviors that feel most like personality. Your dog does not have language. Behavior is the only way they can tell you something is wrong. If the greeting changes, look closer. It may be the first sentence of a message they do not have any other way to send. So the next time you come home, after the grocery run, after the work shift, after you were gone for honestly not that long, and your dog hits the door like the laws of physics are suggestions, remember what is actually happening. 15,000 years of evolutionary selection, written into their chromosomes on chromosome 6, orienting them toward you. A neurochemical feedback loop that exists in no other species relationship on Earth, firing the moment your face comes through the door. An attachment system that places you in the same functional category as the secure base a child seeks in a parent. A nervous system that, over weeks and months of shared life, has learned to synchronize with yours. All of it pointed at one moment. The door opening. You walking through it. The greeting is not excitement. It is the resolution of everything that was left unresolved the moment you left. You are the safest place in their world. And honestly, the science is starting to suggest that somewhere in that neurochemical loop, that oxytocin cascade, that HRV synchronization, they might be doing something for you too. If this changed the way you see your dog, even a little, subscribe to this channel and drop a comment below. I want to know, what does your dog do the moment you walk through the door? Describe it, every detail. And if you want to understand why your dog follows you from room to room, even to the bathroom, even when nothing is happening, that is the next story. And the science behind it is even stranger than you would expect.